start it over. Shouldy
Tis I.
locks. How the fuck was your Thanksgiving?
That's pretty sweet. I actually spent it with my grandfather and my uncle and my aunt that are like 20 years younger than me.
Nice.
And I used to babysit them, and I haven't seen them in a while, so there was a lot of catching up there. And they were telling me all the weird shit I got them into.
Is I feel like maybe your grandpa's name is Bitches.
Bitches.
Yeah, 'cause it sounds like he gets bitches.
I mean, his wife is like 40 years younger than he is.
Dope. They're they're still married. He's
He
still
was,
laying that pipe.
yeah, he was like 60 when he had his kids.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, you did tell me
Yeah,
before
yeah.
that you have an aunt and uncle that are way younger than you. It's like funny. My
Yeah, it's
my
weird.
yeah, my little cousin. She's got like a niece that's older than her, but only by like a few years. It was just her mom
Yeah.
kept having kids
Yeah, it's like when
well
your parents
past.
don't know when to quit, that's when that happens. Like I have a sister who's 12 years old. I'm damn near 40.
Yeah, that is.
So my dad, like every like 5 to 10 years, he's like, you know what? I think I want to try to start a family. And then, 4 years down the line and that new family that he wanted to build falls apart.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, at least he's trying to do that instead of just like accidentally making cream pies all over the Bronx.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a little bit of that too. There's probably some kids he's not aware of just running around.
Yeah, completely
Can you hear
possible.
that I'm having? Can you hear that I'm having like post turkey Thanksgiving or post Thanksgiving turkey?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't hear exactly what's going in your mouth, but I can definitely hear you like deep throating some gobblins. I mean, we had a pretty excellent Thanksgiving.
All right,
Um,
let's hear it.
so yeah, I mean, I'm in Ohio with my dad's fam, and they're a loud and boisterous bunch, but everything went off without a hitch. Other than like a rocky start, like my aunt was taking too much on herself. So, some of us stepped up and stepped in, and we all got some stuff together. I made some empanadas for these crackers,
Nice.
which they loved. They liked them.
For sure.
Had
Who doesn't
my
like empanadas?
yeah. Well, I wish I would have done more to dress them up, but I was kind of going like safe. But now I've got like I got some chorizo meat I want to put in there. We had
I mean,
two different
that's fancy.
turkeys. We had a regular baked in the oven turkey, which was good, and then a smoked turkey, which my cousin's boyfriend does every year,
Ooh,
and that was
yummy.
very special. We had stuffing, which was good, of course, goes without saying. We had
Yo, I
some.
used to hate stuffing as a kid, and now it's like if it was available to me, I could eat like a shit ton of stuffing nowadays.
Yeah. Oh man, I used to just eat stuffing like as a bachelor. You get like a big box of stuffing, you mix it with some like corn or some green beans or something like that, and
So good.
maybe
I had to
some ground
interrupt you.
beef.
Yeah, I just like stuffing so much. I had to interrupt you, but sorry. Go
Well,
ahead.
no, that's a subject for Thanksgiving, and that's what we're fucking doing here is talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Thanksgiving. So I'm
But
thankful for
stuffing,
stuffing.
so good.
I'm definitely thankful for stuffing. It
Yeah.
stuffs me good. I like getting stuffed.
You're just like throwing out bangers of like gay porn names.
What? Doc
You could be the
McStuffins.
guy. Yeah, you could come. You could be the guy that comes up with the names for those movies.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely used to make a habit. I used to back in the day. I used to change my middle name in Facebook until I reached the limit, which I had a bunch of them that were pretty messed up. But they always had to be either a gay porn name or like a boxer nickname. You know, like Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah,
Like some that comes in between your names. Like it'd be like Rocky the Italian Stallion Balboa. Something like that, or something that
excellent.
if you were a male stripper, that they came out and said,
It's almost poetic.
yeah. One of them was like Cremosaurus Rex.
Yeah, it's like the American version of a haiku is doing that.
coming up with dirty puns. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we had a good time. We had a lot of dessert. I also made coquito, uh, which
Ooh,
which didn't really
coquito.
see much love, but nobody was really drinking like that. My aunt was hitting it, but
Okay.
she had it like the first time, like when I was living in the Bronx at the old stomping grounds. And she came one year for around I guess Christmas, and they did the whole tourist thing, and they came by the Bronx, and they saw me, and they brought me a Christmas gift for my dad, and they had some of this
Oh,
coquito, and she was like, "Why don't you give me the recipe?" And my mother was like, "Recipe?
ain't no recipe.
Yeah, she don't cook by no recipe." But I think my grandmother or my aunt, had like a good coquito recipe,
Okay.
and so we had some of that, and it's pretty good actually. But that shit is made of diabetes, man.
Oh
Evaporated
yeah, I
milk,
mean,
condensed milk, coconut milk,
yeah,
all that shit.
definitely. It's all like sugar with a little bit of flavoring.
Yeah. Sugar with some dairy mixed in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, my grandma makes a mean coquito, and like she don't just make a bottle of coquito. When it's time to make coquito, grandma's making like there's like 30 gallons of coquito all over the place. It's like this one's for this household, that one's for that household. She's like supplying the village with coquito.
Well, back when I was working at the hospital, it was like a lot of people used to sell it, like $25 to
Okay.
$50 a bottle, you know,
Woo!
because people just loved it so much, and it's not like it's very labor intensive to make. I mean, you need a big enough blender or like a good enough mixer to get all those spices to like mix in.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
it was pretty. It was a lot of people. That's how they fucking made their Christmas money, was by selling coquito.
Yeah. It's entrepreneurial. You have to have a little bit of savviness there.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's always on a side hustle, especially
Yeah,
like
my
this, like a lot
go
of
ahead.
people. You got like if you got a lot of kids, you're gonna have to like do like fucking. It's hard enough during the holidays, right? Like
Hmm.
a lot of my Christmas gifts were sponsored by the drug trade. Because
Yeah.
my mom didn't have no freaking money.
My cousin would like every holiday she'd throw a party at her house and she would have like nutcrackers and like kind of charge $5 for a nutcracker. You didn't have to drink the nutcrackers. There was other stuff there, but it was like, a lot of people would buy the nutcrackers and they'd like get enough money to pay for certain things.
Yar.
Like usually most people would have at least one nutcracker just to be like, yeah, yeah, we'll help you out.
Yeah, because I mean, nutcrackers at least are freaking cheap, man. You can buy them at the bodega.
Yeah. But yeah, when you're living in the Bronx, you're probably not like the most well off.
No, you are not.
Everyone's got a little bit of a hustle. Usually, it's selling weed.
And you can't knock the hustle.
Nah, not at all. The Bronxites are industrious people, I should say. They get theirs.
I got mine.
I know I got mine.
It's another good. Me and my cousin are probably gonna play Baldur's Gate.
Oh, nice.
Baldur's Gate 3.
I still need a graphics card. I
Yeah.
might take you up on your offer. You said you have like a computer that you were going to give Jose, but it's been sitting there for like two
Nah.
years or something.
Yeah, I know, man. It's too late. I gave it to my cousin Chaz, my
Oh
little
yeah, no,
cousin
that's fine. At
Chaz.
least it went.
He's the
At least it
closest
went
thing.
someplace good.
He's the closest thing I have to a kid.
Yeah.
It's because I used to babysit him when he was little, and I was like looking at him. He's still got like an N64, and I'm like, you weren't even old
Retro
enough to know
console.
about N64. You know?
That's a two generation hand me down.
Yeah, and the other thing, he's like in his 20s now, so
Okay,
like he's looking for work and stuff, and I'm like, you need a computer. Like, you should have a
for
computer.
sure.
He's
Yeah.
into like voice acting, which we could probably collab with him on some stuff, man. We should. I want to learn animation and maybe make a video. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me get you a freaking actual computer. And I set it up for him. There was a few things missing, like I needed speakers. I forgot about that because I just, I used headphones any friggin' way most of the
Hmm.
time. But he liked it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if he's got a story, he should tell it. It's those things are subjective. Some people might like it, some people might not. But the important thing is like getting it out of your brain and getting it into the world.
Yes.
And it might be the best thing since sliced bread. It might be terrible, but at least it's a learning experience. And then the next one, he'll take something from the first experience and apply it to the next one. Or he might realize he hates writing and never do it again.
Well, that was the problem, was I couldn't fucking get him to write anything down. He was like a me.
Oh well, that's the most important thing
It
is
really
actually
is.
writing.
It really, really is actually writing it down.
Hmm. I have a philosophy of like you're going to fail, you just want to do it fast. you
Yeah.
you want to do all the failing in the beginning so you get all that fail out of you, and then eventually it'll start to become wins.
You ain't got no wins in mi casa. Que te pasa? You ain't even in my clasa.
Exactly,
Sorry.
exactly.
That was an unreleased Big Pun song. I don't know if they've since released it, but since I knew someone who worked for Pun, I had access to that.
Oh really? That's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
that was that, and they did a sort of. He was an okay guy, I guess. He was like my aunt's
Yeah,
boyfriend, but he kind of seemed like maybe she had a, I don't know, man. She had a penchant for picking him, if you know what I mean. I'll just say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But yeah, but one of the songs, I guess they couldn't get it released because it was using the Copacabana, like at the Copacabana,
oh wow,
right? So they tried to change it
yeah,
because we loco bananas, and I don't know if that was ever
yeah.
released officially, but they couldn't. I'm pretty
Wait,
sure
but
they.
is
Well,
that
whoever owned
song, how old is that song, the Copacabana? I feel like it should be in what do you call that? Commercial free space by now,
the
public
public,
domain.
yeah, public domain. Yeah, I guess it should be, but it depends. Like, everything Disney made should be really in the public domain, but it is not because they keep
Yeah, they've
get
sent in a
change.
few things.
Well, they change the laws. They get people to change the laws, like, to extend it, or you have to, like, one of the ways you could cheat is like, it's supposed to go after like 10 years or something. Like you have 10
Yeah.
years to do something with it, or else it goes to the public domain. But I think
Well, it's
that's
supposed to be like the creator's life plus like 50 years, and
something
then it
like
goes
that.
into public domain.
Something like that, yeah. But a lot
Like,
of
there's a way around it. Is there's this guy who's a comic creator, right? And he made this really popular comic series called Fables, and he was going through a bunch of stuff with Marvel, and eventually he was like, um, he got tired of it, and to win the battle, he he openly put all of his work up in public domain before he died, so that Marvel doesn't get the rights to it, and they can make money off of it now that it's in public domain, but anyone could. So that was his like big middle finger to them. He was like, "No, you guys aren't gonna have sole propriety over my shit."
yeah,
I think I feel like everyone should do that, especially if you're working for like big companies. Don't let them win. But then they'll change laws, right? And be like, you can't do that anymore.
exactly. And they're working to like get all the creatives out of art and automate them with
I
robots.
mean, they already basically turned people into robots. Like, have you heard all this stuff with Studio Mappa and how it's basically like slave driving in a way?
Yeah, well, Mappa's sort of newish, right? And they've gotten like a bunch of good things under their belt now, where they have a name for themselves, I guess. And so to me, they seemed like they were, that's normal shit with a startup, right? Like
I think
everyone
they're
who,
destroyed. Like I heard
yeah,
there's not going to be another season of Jujutsu Kaisen because the workers are like striking and because their deadlines are too crazy and they're being overworked and underpaid.
yeah. The other thing is, I have no idea how true that is, right? I do believe that that
This
is
is
true in
true.
a
Yeah.
lot of cases, right? In a lot, I know in general, like whoever the hell was working on Naruto, like every week, whether even it's like no, there's a hiatus in the manga, but we're still gonna put out an episode of the anime. It's like you guys are literally just making shit up for us to do now, right? So
Yeah.
that
Right.
schedule to me seems like it's fucking impossible that those people, aren't overworked,
Yeah.
right? But
But yeah,
if
I
you're,
mean the rumor is like some of the, especially like this last season, a lot
mhm.
of the shows like they're finished like right the day they're supposed to air, and they're missing a lot of like, they say it's like they're missing like 60% of like the animation that they're supposed to have.
Yikes. That's yeah,
Yeah.
that's garbage. Well, I've seen that happen. Like I've seen it in like video games especially
Hmm.
where but it used to be that it's because you like ran out of funding. Now, I'm going to say in a lot of these cases that they definitely don't have as many animators as they should working on
Yeah.
anything, but in some cases it feels like they have like way too many. Like I know
What I
Disney
think.
Disney Marvel sucks at that. Like
Yeah.
they give their animators because they have to start animating the movies before they even have audio. Sometimes before they even have a
Yeah.
script, which is stupid,
Yeah. For
right?
sure.
And then midway through them animating, they have to make all these fucking changes because now the script is different. Now all was problematic before.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
So it and they like I saw Taika Waititi and what's her name Valkyrie like making fun of these people, and
Oh,
they
really?
also
Wow.
yeah, they were talking about like, oh, is this good animation? I don't know about that. It's like, well, what the fuck do you expect? Do you animate? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Because
they're putting like these expectations on these people like they're machines. They're not. They're
yeah.
just people.
So and then who else was making like I think She Hulk was making fun of the animators as well that they're unable to like put
Wow.
out decent. It's like you are,
It's not the animator's fault.
yeah. Well, they don't know that.
Those
That's what I
people
mean.
are
Is
incredibly talented. Yeah, it's there's
anyone with
such
money
a disconnect there.
is disconnected from reality at this point.
Yeah. I think one of the big things with Mappa was that they just took on way too much. Like they just started buying up all of these licenses, and they had too many shows to animate, and some of them look laughably terrible. Like the first few episodes of Hell's Paradise, it's like they just took stock photos as of backgrounds and like barely did anything with them.
Yeah.
It's so funny and weird looking.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I don't know. It kind of seems like, now that they have digital, it should be going faster, right? But it didn't maybe make everything easier like you would think. Like I know, like let's say like making a Disney movie, that would probably take like 5 years back in the day. But that's
Mm-hmm.
like for a 90-minute high quality, hand drawn and shot, and with all these in camera effects that they used to have to do. They used to build, like, I think I sent you that picture of how they did this one shot. They literally just made like different layers of the cells, and then
Yeah,
they
it's
put it in a big
fantastic.
big tower, and then they just pulled the camera away from that. you know
Yeah, it looks so good. Like
yeah,
natural parallaxing. And then they do a lot of rotoscoping too. Like they get actors to act things out, and then they have the animators like watch the scene so they know exactly how to animate it.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a bunch of little tricks, and
yeah, and that
but
it seems like they don't
that
really
stuff
do that
costs money.
anymore. Yeah.
They
Well,
don't.
even with like mocap, like you think mocap would make things a lot easier, but it doesn't always pan out so well.
It just looks so uncanny to me
Yeah.
because when you mocap, like everyone has this tendency to like overact,
Yeah.
and it just always has this weird unnatural look, even though it's like capturing a real person.
Well, that's what I mean is like I don't think there's like well, they're using like regular actors to do motion capture, right? So you got to get someone who's like a Robin Williams, like a cartoon, like the guy who played Roger Rabbit, who he's like a psychopath. That guy, like no fooling. He like he was on set the entire time in costume. Didn't need to be. And you look at his
I
eyes,
agree.
and he terrifies me. But he was like doing method acting in a cartoon. Now he wasn't doing mocap or anything, but he's being very cartoonish, and you could tell that it really had a good effect on like the rest of the actors because he's supposed to
Yeah,
be
for
this
sure.
really annoying character anyway, right? So his co-star Bob Hoskins, rest in peace. He's probably literally getting irritated by this guy, so it was really easy to play off of him. And
For
then
sure.
yeah, you have to have someone
By
who's
the
like
way, that movie is
really
one of the
animated.
best movies ever made.
It is. I concur. Especially with what it took to make that movie. It was such a dumb idea at the time. Like to, to try and pull it off, we're gonna have like
I would
real
consider it a
actors.
masterpiece.
It is because somehow it just works, man. Like with the shit that they had to build, like all their sets, like 10 feet off the ground, so that like big like puppeteers who aren't even working like actual puppets. They're just putting
Yeah.
like physical objects on sticks for the for the regular for the cartoons to interact with. It was
Yeah.
like,
And it was like a legit mystery. It had the right amount of like sophistication and like maturity, but it was also silly and cartoony for kids.
yeah, and Christopher Lloyd is actually a scary ass villain, and who the hell knew that,
Terrifying.
right? And he's
Terrifying.
also the perfect guy to play a cartoon as well. So like he had to be in there somewhere, and I'm so happy that he did. Shave and
Yeah,
a
for sure.
haircut.
Yeah, that guy like creeped me out to the bone as a kid, and then at the end was actually terrifying.
Yeah,
Like at first he was just creepy. Well, he was actually pretty terrifying as well. Like I remember that scene with the little cartoon shoe. Oh man, I'm pretty sure
Yes.
I cried. That was like super sad and
Well,
scary. And it's
I
like you felt helpless.
I already knew that that cartoons weren't real by this time. So to me, it was crazy that that was happening and that he was like actually like murdering something in what I thought was a kids movie, right? Because
Yeah.
like you never see anything die. If anything, it's just one thing. But here it's like a murder mystery. Someone was already dead at the beginning of the movie, and then you have a
Hmm.
string of other murders that, like Eddie Valiant, his partner died,
Yeah.
who was also his brother, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So and then he has to solve all these other murders that are somehow connected, and basically, I think that this movie, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, at least I heard, I think that I saw this on Red Letter Media, was like they had that movie Chinatown, right? And this is
Uh huh.
basically just like I think they had a script for like a sequel to Chinatown or a third one if there was a sequel to Chinatown that they didn't use, and they pretty much just used that for this, right? And
Okay.
the director was just like, yeah, I need a a good movie because like I think the comic is a bit different, but like they
I
made
didn't
it
even know it
dark.
was a comic.
Yeah. Well, in the comic, he basically, everyone else talks normal, but he talks in like big thought, like, thought bubbles or whatever, speech bubbles that people can
Hmm.
see. So I think he was like actually silent because he was supposed to be like a comic strip character or whatever. Yeah, but the
Okay.
director, think about what they did. They took like, a gritty detective noir thing, and then they're just like, all right, let's add Looney Tunes in it.
Yeah.
It
No, and it worked perfectly. That's
that's what
crazy.
well that's what I mean. It was such a crazy idea. That's how I feel like they got a lot of people involved. Like they got Disney to work with Warner Brothers, their biggest competitor, and to lend them some of their top characters. You know,
And the
which work.
production quality was like top notch.
Yeah, it still holds up to this day. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's gonna hold up. The longer we go without like 2D animated movies like
I
getting
think
in the
it's timeless,
mainstream.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's one of those timeless movies.
but like modern kids, I wonder if they're even gonna like recognize that. Like, why are they like that? Why are they drawings? It's like you don't know what a cartoon is, do you? Because your cartoons are all like photorealistic, fucking 3D.
Yeah, but there's always those cycles. Everything comes back. Like there's
Yeah,
kids wearing '90s clothes nowadays because it's the styles come back, even though they don't know that they're '90s clothes.
this is true. My niece listens to Cypress Hill.
Yeah, yeah. My aunt, the one that's like 20 years younger than me, she
Uh-huh.
listens to System of a Down.
Well, I don't know. System of a Down is still. I feel like Hypnotize, Mesmerize wasn't that long ago.
It was. I mean, what she's listening to is like the stuff that was in the '90s.
All right. Wait, was System of a Down even in the 90s? I have to look this up now.
Pretty sure.
Because in the 90s, I was probably still too young to listen to a System of a Down record.
Think so? I mean, it could
Yeah.
be early 2000s. The TRL times, that was early
Well,
2000s, right?
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm definitely sure they had an album out in the 90s, but I don't know if like I heard it or that it
Like
was.
Ariel's was like probably like 2001 or something.
All right, let's see. Glendale, California in 1994. In 1997, they're their current lineup. But when did they get their record deal, and when did we hear about them? Oh, 2010 to present. So I guess they're back together.
Oh, 2010. Damn.
Yeah. So
I
demo
thought they were
tapes.
actually way earlier than that.
Okay, self-titled album. System of a Down first one. You are correct. 1998. That was their debut.
Okay.
So that's when
I mean,
Sugar.
those early years. Oh, okay. Sugar was on there in 1998.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's one of the ones that we were kind of like jamming out to. So yeah, I was right, but I also wasn't like, I don't know, 100% right. It was
Well,
just a guesstimation.
1998. I think that's when I had like moved back to the Bronx, and we probably weren't really listening to very much rock music for a little bit. Probably getting more back into rap. But
Okay.
at IS, I eventually started, hanging out with like the skater kids and whatnot, and they freaking hold on. I gotta go say I'm gonna pause this for a second, and I gotta go say
Yeah.
bye to my brother and
What's
his
that?
kids.
Yeah.
Be
Do
right
your
back.
thing, man. Peace.